搞错了，再来。
超级拍摄，
这个手指。
Hello， 大家晚上好。Hello，Dr. Sky。
大家好，大家好。谁在线的可以跟我打个招呼啊？大家好。
在线的都可以在我们评论区打个招呼哦。好，那首先呢，我们今天的开头呢，我们想要恭喜一下 Dr. Sky。那呢，他成功的入围了这一年 POYP 2022年的前20名。那这个呢是世界的青年奖哈，就是是跟每一个不同的国家去 compete 去拿这一个奖，也很不容易。我们 Doctor 可以成功的入围20。然后呢，我也很感谢呢，上一个星期呢，我们有很多的这个朋友啊，去帮我们 Dr. Sky 去投票，那也谢谢大家的一路以来的支持。
感谢大家啦，这个星期真的辛苦大家了，每一天都要发很多 link 给大家，让他们帮我投票，说非常感恩，也非常感谢他们很对我的信任啦，说希望我有好的成绩，好的消息给大家公布。
好，那我们呢就期待着 Dr. Sky 接下来会公布给我们的好消息。那我们来到 next slide。 还有另外一个好消息要带给大家呢，就是这一个星期日，就是这个礼拜天的早上8点开始呢，我们可以收听 IFM，Doctor 会上这个 IFM 呢去share 这个关于整骨的疗法给观众们听。那么呢，在这个 IFM 你们的 radio 可以听到，同时呢，你们也可以去到 Facebook 去观看这个直播。就是这一个礼拜天，就是后天呐、不要忘记哦，是后天，这个礼拜天的早上8点，不是晚上哦，是早上8点哦。所以如果是想要听到 Doctor Sky 的，跟你们讲早安的话呢，你们要早一点去起床去收听 IFM。
我看到很多人都 join 进来了，但是那个我们的 live 有 delay，我看到有 SS 啊，我们看到我们一总的保名啊，还有很多人都陆陆续续进来了。你们可以在评论区那边跟我打个招呼，跟我们 say 个 hi。
OK，那接下来呢，我们要下一个 slide。那我们今天呢，会带入大家去了解我们我们诊所呢，的这个仪器呢。那我们的 topic 今天是 Equipment Introduction，先进机械融合传统医学。那我们是怎样用 TCM 和现代的机器呢，去给我们的这个病人去做这个治疗的。
我看到 Catherine 打招呼，Catherine hi。
Catherine，好，next slide。我们的这个 title 呢是用人心医治病患，用大爱守护人民。
所以其实我们一直都保存着那个初心啦。So 不管现在的科技多进步或者多发达，还有我们的生意怎么样，但是我们还是保有那个初心啦，希望把每一个病患都尽心尽力的帮他们治疗好。Hi，
对
Shana。
，OK，那接下来呢就是这个 giveaway alert 啦。那相信大家呢，如果有参加过上一季的话呢，这一季呢其实我们是简单化了。好，那我们可以看到 next slide。要参加很简单，只需要 like follow Sin Osteo 的 Facebook 和 IG，然后呢 share 我们现在这个直播，记得 tag 3个朋友。那记得呢，如果要参加这个giveaway 的话呢，一定要把你的 profile 呢 set 为 public， 千万不要 set 为 privacy 哦，不然的话呢，我们是看不到你帮我们 share 的。那最后呢，我们在这个 live 的结尾呢，我们会公布这个得奖者，所以记得把你们的那个 profile set to public。然后呢，你就可以有资格去参加我们这个 giveaway。
So 大家，如果你们 share 了给3个朋友 like and follow 了，然后你在那个评论区那边打一打，我已经 share 了，我已经 like 了，然后我们的后勤人员呢，其实就会进去你的 profile 看有没有这个 share 跟 like，然后他们就会放去一个轮盘那边去转，转到谁，然后我们就会可能丰富的一个奖品 giveaway，可能我们会 free treatment 啊，或者 free 的 products 啊，所以我们要留守到最后，我们会送出什么？
是的，那记得呢，大家记得呢要留守到最后哦。好，那接下来到下一个 slide。那这边呢，我就要欢迎我们今天的这个为我们讲解这个 topic 的，就是我们的 Nicholas 和 Kelvin。那首先呢，欢迎他们2位上来。
Hello. Thank you for the introduction, Grace.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Wow, there seems to be a lot of viewers today. Yeah? It's a very good sign. It's a really good sign.
是不是我在这边比较多 view？
一定是
你要打招呼，要跟大家打招呼一下。
Hello.
Sean， 你好。
Hi, Sean. 你好。So, let's do a brief
治疗是谁
introduction.
啊？你们懂治疗是谁吗？
治疗啊。So, hi, hello. Okay, so I'll go first. I'll just do a brief introduction. Hi, everybody. 我是 Nicholas. I'm Nicholas, and I'm actually the chiropractor for Sin Osteopathic SS2. And we have Kelvin here. Kelvin,
Hi
say
everyone, I'm Kelvin and I'll be helping Nicholas introduce some machines here lah.
Okay, so first question for you, Kelvin. You know, among all the equipments and modern equipments that we have at our clinic, right? Which do you think is the most superior or the best?
I think the most superior is you lah, maybe.
Okay. A quarter of Dr. Sky lah, quarter.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty much the therapists that exist and keeping the place alive lah, and helping all our patients, right? So yeah, you can go ahead and introduce about that.
All right.
So 大家，我想告诉大家，其实如果你们想，我们以华语的方式或者以英文的方式，如果你们听不懂什么，你们都可以在评论区告诉我们3种语言都可以。Maybe 有人会客家话，我不清楚，but 你们也可以在那边评论区那边打一打，OK？
都得嘅，我哋係都得嘅。
都得嘅，都嘅。
都得。I think what Kelvin said makes a lot of sense, because to be honest, no matter how good the equipment is, right, if you don't have the physician to run it, you of course cannot operate lah. So I want to bring us back to skill set, all right? Our soft tissue release skills and our adjusting skills, these are actually all very, very important. I just want to bring up a little bit of an event that happened last week. Actually, we were working on a weekend, all right? Can you imagine a weekend? It was packed, full of patients. Suddenly, there were no electricity for a whole 3 hours, yes? You remember your experience, Kelvin?
Yeah, and I think most of especially the newer staffs, they are like not familiar with this kind of situations. So, but then I think with Dr. Sky guiding everyone and the team supporting each other, I think end up we really pulled through lah. And not only we pulled through, I think the quality did not reduce at all. Yeah. What do you think?
Correct. Even without equipments, we could actually still carry on. So I think that was really good lah. So we had to go back to basics, still using the hands. Yes. So okay, let's head to our very first slide. So the very first machine that we want to introduce today is the Leander flexion table. Now I'm sure if you're a patient of Sin Osteopathic, I think you actually may have come across this machine before, probably even have used it. So actually, we are the very first center in Malaysia to have this fully automated Leander table. We're also very, very pleased to actually have Dr. Dennis, as you can see here, beside Dr. Sky. Dr. Dennis is the president and CEO of Leander. We're actually very pleased to actually have him over to our center at Sin Osteopathic to teach us a little bit of skills and how to use the Leander to further treat our patients more effectively.
来，让我讲一下这个 Dr. Dennis。Dr. Dennis 其实是在美国很出名的机医，也是 chiropractor， 所以他是非常非常出名。所以这个 machine 是他 design 的，所以我有幸在外国上了他一些课程，所以我觉得这个 machine actually 可以很快的解除一些腰痛，是我们一般上没有机器是做不到的。Because nowadays 我们除了一些手法之外，我们还要与时并进了，带进一些很先进的科技尽快的把我们的 patients 的那个痛尽快解决。Maybe 我们有这个床，可能我们可以3次解决 ，but without 的话，我们可能要拖到比较久的时间了。
Very well said. So we actually have 2 Leander machines at our center. So let's take a quick look at the video. So just to give you guys a brief introduction of what Leander is. Are you experiencing recurrent low back pain that doesn't go away? What options are there aside from surgery, medications, or injection? Today I want to introduce an equipment that we utilize highly at our center. It is the flexion distraction table. It's a natural, non-surgical technique that provides an effective and alternative pain relief option. Spinal adjustments combined with the movements of the table stretches and decompresses your spine, relieving your back, leg, neck, or arm pain. Functions of the flexion distraction table includes a drop piece, which is a more gentle approach towards traditional spinal adjustments. The middle piece of the table can be lowered to lessen pressure at the thoracic cavity. The height of the table is adjustable at the ease of patients maneuvering with severe pain. The table can be shifted side to side to lessen pain according to the individual. There's also a feature built in the table specifically to treat scoliosis patients. Are you Okay, so that is a very brief introduction to Leander. So just to recap a little bit, Leander is a non-surgical technique, so pretty much 是不用开刀的一个技术. It is actually very safe and also a very, very gentle methods. So for our patients, or some of them who are suffering from a slip disc, right? The functions of Leander is actually very, very suitable for them because it's not something that is very rough. It's very safe, very gentle. The main point is actually to increase spinal motion because sometimes you see the joints, right? They tend to get stuck. So with the table, you actually tend to open them up even more lah. Main goal is to reduce the pressure. Sometimes when it gets stuck right between the nerves and your disc, when it opens, when it flexes open and extend, you actually relieve a lot of pressure that is placed lah. We call this actually a negative pressure. So somewhat very similar to the effects of cupping. You know, when you actually cup, you sort of get the negative pressure. So that will actually pull the disc back into the spine. Otherwise, it will always be compressing onto the spinal cord. So that's why it's very suitable for patients who are experiencing maybe disc bulges, slip disc. We see Pudding here, Pudding Abby. This is so nice. I think she have actually tried this machine before lah. So very, very comfortable. And lastly, the motion, right? So when it opens and closes, it actually allows nutrients and also oxygen to be pumped into the spinal disc. Your spinal disc is actually made out of a gel, and inside it has water compositions lah. So by actually opening up, you get all these nutrients inside, and then you get the disc fully articulated in its form. Leander, it's a very good technique lah. So we combine Leander with our very own some traditional soft tissue release, you know, like Toina and all this. So it can actually speed up the overall patient recovery. Of course, it's a very specialized table. Later, we're going to talk a little bit on how it can help scoliosis also. Dr. Sky, 你有什么要 anything to add on this page?
OK，for 这个 table 其实除了做一般的 slip disc patient 之外，刚才 Nicholas 都讲了，它其实它的一个 function 是做 scoliosis patients 的，就是脊椎侧弯的病人。其实对于脊椎侧弯的病人 ，for 这个 machine 是非常非常有效的，因为它可以把你的肌肉跟你骨骼用推压的方式慢慢跟它调整一点点。So 以这样的方向的话，其实我们有蛮多成功的例子。你没有放到那个 X-ray 下来 ，right？ 你没有放到那个 X-ray。
X-ray， 哎呀 ，X-ray， sorry， 在另外一个 slide，but 那个痕真的很好。
But 你可以 continue。
好。So just to add on, so of course scoliosis for 我们的青少年 adolescents is very important because 这是他们的 golden period啦。This is the only sort of period for them to have any changes to their spine. So it's very important. So 我们可以 prevent 的就是 we try to stop the growth of the scoliosis and also try to reduce the curvature 啦。So we talk a little bit about conditions. So 刚才有提到的就是 slip disc 或者肩盘突出 alright, our normal actually achy low back pain, 腰酸背痛or even 坐骨神经 you know, some people they always say sciatica, they feel numbness or like radiating pain from the lower back down to the legs. And also lastly, this is actually a very serious issue. This is spondylolisthesis. So you can see the vertebra actually slips off from the other. So in Mandarin, this is 滑脱咯。Okay, so shall we move on to the next one?
Okay, so yeah, thanks Nick for the introduction to our Leander machine. I'm sure a lot of our patient loves the Leander machine, all right? And it's like one of our main machines as well for lower back, especially, right? So another like main machine, and actually this is one of our first new machines that we brought into Sin Osteo. It is actually the lumbar and cervical traction machine. Um, and if you are a patient at Sin Osteo, I'm sure you've also heard of the traction machine. Is where after the rough treatment, you're in a little bit of pain, some massage, is a place for you to finally relax. Maybe take a quick nap in the clinic at the traction machine. Yeah. So yeah, it is a very relaxing machine, and I'll explain a little bit more about it later. But let's take a look at the video first at how it functions.
Are you experiencing low back pain while waking up in the morning or from sitting too long? What options are there aside from surgery, medication, or injection? Today, I want to introduce a machine that we utilize highly at our center. It is the spinal traction. It is a form of decompression therapy by stretching the spine to take pressure off the compressed disc. This straightens the spine and improves the body ability to heal. Patients with spinal conditions benefit tremendously from this therapy as the traction machine stretches your muscles and bones against the force of gravity. You may not be aware, but conditions like slip disc, bone spurs, degenerative disc disease, sciatica, and pinched nerves can cause lasting lower back pain. The results of spinal traction includes pain relief, decompressed joints, and promotes proper spinal alignment. Under the right circumstances, this could significantly improve the way you move and feel throughout the day. Not only does this provide traction, the specialty of this particular machine offers mild rotation, which helps to target and open up those stiff joints.
All right. So, as you guys saw from the video, the machine actually stretches you left and right, and then it also stretches your whole body apart. It's like trying to pull apart your spine. But yeah, actually, the main function of the traction machine is actually to help with degenerative lower back or neck issues. So, or in Mandarin, 我们经常会听到退化 right? 我们腰退化 or those auntie or uncles you might say 我腰退化. So what is 退化 is just when the spinal vertebrae is starting to have a bit of wear and tear and it's starting to compress on your disc, and sometimes you might feel some symptoms if it impinges on your nerve. So pretty much the same symptom as previously what Nick said, the sciatica, the accompanied numbness in your legs, pain shooting down your legs, those type of symptoms. Actually, it may sound scary, but it can definitely be fixed. So yeah, how it works is actually it stretches apart your spine and then it stabilizes it in that position so that after the adjustment, after the heavy treatment, it actually stays in place. So a lot of the patients, sometimes they complain like after the treatment you feel better, but then how come within a week you feel the pain again? It's actually due to our usual wear and tear. We are sitting down most of the time, so the downwards gravity alone will pull your spine together. So the traction machine actually helps pulls it apart and then keep it there so it can be stabilized, and then you can have a longer lasting effect of treatment.
那我翻译一下，其实这个 traction machine 最重要的就是 decompress， 我们叫做减压或者解压。So for 这种 patients 就是多是退行性变化，就是年纪比较大的或者长期做 office 的人其实他的 lumbar because of 那个 gravity 的关系或者他 position 的关系，他的腰椎会压迫到比较紧一点。所以很多人就是一直解决不到我们那种腰椎的问题 because 他的那个骨脊椎 is too near， 他压到很厉害了。所以压到很厉害的时候，他就开始 吸收不到营养啊，oxygen 喷不到进去啊，或者影响到我们的那个神经发炎的状况。So 我们的 treatments 我们把它调整回去，进入那个 position 减压了过后，我们会带你去做这个床，这个床叫做 decompression table 啦，我们也是叫做 traction， 它只是把你的脊椎每个 vertebrae 椎间隙那边把它拉开。OK， 拉开了它比较耐咯，就好像有些人做了 treatment 2天3天他就开始痛了，因为他开始做回他的自己的 positions 啊，自己的那个 posture 啊。但是这个 decompression machine 呢，如果长期做的话，它会减少很多腰痛的那个情况出现，还有把那个 degenerations 减慢，退化减慢。
Okay. So thank you, Dr. Sky, for the translation. So yeah, so well said by Dr. Sky. And also besides the lower back, you can see here we have the neck traction as well, or we call it cervical traction. So okay, we can go back up and look at the conditions. Yeah, so lower back and also the neck itself can have this kind of condition. And you can see here what I was talking about, the degenerative disc is actually a long-term issue that most of us nowadays deal with. Yeah, so definitely the traction can help with this kind of degenerative issues that we're dealing with for many years. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for the traction machine. Nick, you use it a lot, right, for those stiff patients?
Oh, definitely. But actually, I mean, based on what I've been doing as well, it does work. After I think several times of tractions, even when it comes to adjusting, I also feel that it gets easier over time.
Yeah, especially those maybe elder patients, right? They've been dealing with, degenerative disc issues for so many years. Yeah, it takes some time to actually force it open. So,
Definitely. You cannot.
yeah.
It's quite hard for them to change their habits. Also, some of them like to sit for long, watching TV, or.
Yeah, so we try our best to, use certain machines to try to brute force the bad posture. Yeah,
One way or another.
yeah. All right. So
Okay.
I think next
All right. Shall we
is
move on?
yeah.
Okay. All right. So the next machine we have in house is the shockwave therapy. Or some people, when they hear shockwave, this word, start to tremble already. Okay. So, whoever that has tried shockwave before at our center, for some it could be a very pleasant experience. Some maybe not so. In Mandarin, this is 体外冲击波治疗. All right. So, let's take a quick video first. All right, before we jump into what this really is. Do you want to get rid of your shoulder pain without the use of surgery, medication, or injection? Today, I want to introduce an equipment that we utilize highly at our center. It is the Doloclast Shockwave Therapy. In short, shockwave therapy uses high sound energy to penetrate through, generating cavitation bubbles to stimulate metabolic reactions. In the shoulder region, common conditions are such as frozen shoulder, rotator cuff muscle injuries, muscle strain, bicipital tendonitis, tendon calcification, and shoulder impingement. Shockwave therapy, when paired with the right rehab exercises, the healing process of your shoulder will improve drastically. Okay, so that is the short video of a shockwave introduction. So I see a comment here. One thing, you say, I love it, shockwave. Wow, amazing. See, we have a fan of shockwave. Sometimes it's either you love it or you hate it. And based on my personal experience, I have also used shockwave on myself. Kelvin, I think you have too, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I can tell you, I hate it. But afterwards, you'll love it.
Because like after using, hey, it works. You really cannot feel that kind of pain for honestly, maybe even weeks or months, but it's just getting through that short 3 to 5 minutes, or really is a killer. Okay, so shockwave is an acoustic wave. So, um, same, but no. It's almost as if it's the brother of an ultrasound. I'm sure everybody is more familiar with ultrasound. So similarly, it uses acoustic wave, so sound waves. One thing for sure, like Leander, it is an effective non-surgical treatment. So 是不需要开刀的. All right. Mainly is three things. Shockwave is promote, to regenerate, and to repair the process of bones, your tendons, and also your soft tissues. So 你的骨啊、肌腱还有这些软组织, is to help it heal faster lah, you can say. We talk about osteoblasts and fibroblasts. These are several cells inside. It pretty much helps to increase the metabolism of it. So maybe sometimes when it comes to aging, or even like you overuse, maybe you like to play certain sports, there's always that similar repetitive motion. This can actually cause, wear and tear to the joint itself. So shockwave is actually a really, really good option coming to it. If you want to dive deeper, it actually helps, how it helps with the healing process, right? It fights inflammation. So if you got 发炎 and all this stuff, it actually reduces it, and also helps, really, really helps with pain and tender. It's like fighting pain with pain, using pain to fight pain. But the process, honestly, depending on how chronic or how long the issue has been, some people maybe they just require 1 or 2 sessions, or maybe if some has been there for a while already, maybe up to 4 to 6. So it really depends on how chronic the problem is. Doctor, 你有什么要加的吗 for shockwave？
来，我应该要翻译一下。其实这个 shockwave right，大家好像听到很复杂的了啊，很复杂的一样东西。这个 shockwave 是拿来做什么的？其实我们肌肉或者肌腱呢受损的时候，right，我们都要保我们的肌肉啊都会 harden， 我们会硬起来，硬起来其实是去 protect 我们的 joints 的。所以这个 shockwave 什么病情最适合用呢？其实第一个就是我们的 frozen shoulders， 所以我们的那个50肩啊，50肩，所以那些50肩就是它的退化老化了啊，所以如果它压迫到神经啊，或者已经是那个骨膜骨的时候啊，其实它的那个肌肉它就变得很紧绷，让你没有办法去拉开，没有办法去伸展，所以慢慢越来越低，你连90度都提不上来。所以这个东西如果我们用冲击波的话，其实它的 mechanism 是怎样呢？它就是它一个 tube 里面，等等，一个 tube 里面 ，OK， 一个 tube， 它里面有个 bullet， 它的 bullet 它会敲击前面那个 metal， 它就 create 一个 sound wave， 就会有一个声音出来，一个声波出来。所以那个声波我们可以调大，可以调小的。那个因为它是 non-invasive， 就是它没有侵略性的，不像打针啊，不像用其他 equipment 要插入我们皮肤，它只是一个 sound wave 啊，它里面有一个震动，一个 vibrations 啊，那个震动的时候就可以把你的那个肌腱粘连的肌腱，把你开始打到它松为止。所以这个是一个非常安全的方式啦。但是如果你那个地方有发炎的话，或者那边粘连比较严重，你会觉得特别的痛啊。但是你打了过后，我们通常会打2000 shots， 我们会打2000下。所以那个 shockwave 打了2000下，其实我觉得还比你推1个小时推拿好 ，because 它的那个 shockwave 很 directly 去到你的很深层的里面。So normally 如果你有那些好像 bone spur 啊，或者我们脚底啊，脚跟会痛啊，足跟会痛啊，或者那些手无法伸直的那些，全部是肌肉粘连或那个骨骼开始已经 calcification， 就是开始钙化的时候，用这个 shockwave 是最好的。
Very well said, doctor. Very well said. So, like just now we mentioned, several conditions that shockwave is applicable for is what we have. First of all, frozen shoulder, 50肩, What I also realized in clinic is sometimes, actually not sometimes, a lot of elderlies after taking the vaccine, right, for COVID, a lot of them actually started developing this shoulder sort of a calcification, like the range of motion of the shoulder suddenly just cannot lift up after the vaccine. So maybe that's a little bit of a side effect of it lah. Next one we have is over here. This is shoulder impingement or rotator cuff tendonitis. So in Mandarin, this is 肩部装急, right? And also, if the tendon 肌腱也是有发炎, also possible lah. Shockwave can actually help. Another thing, so moving down from the shoulder, you got your elbow. Elbow, you have your golfer's elbow and your tennis elbow. Very common, I think, for those of you who are athletes. So also not just athletes, doesn't necessarily need to play golf or tennis to get these kind of things. If you are a housewife, if you're always doing same thing, 重复性, repetitive activities, this is actually very easily, you know, getting this kind of condition. And lastly, we have mamaso, all right? Or English, this is decurvens tendinosynovitis. Actually, nowadays, not just mama, I see a lot of papa also getting this, all right? A lot of newborns. Doctor, 你有吗？
我是还没有啦，我的肌肉还有力。So for 那些是长期抱的，或者可能他比较瘦弱、比较瘦小的，或者长期用电脑那些人，其实他会比较有这个问题了。爸手，我还没有啦。
OK。
我们在 treatment 的时候，其实妈妈手会比较多了，因为爸爸都比较忙工作，妈妈本来他就比较瘦弱，本来就没有这样努力的，所以他们还一直抱 baby， 因为尤其是 especially 第一个 baby 啦，哇，他们真的是当宝贝的哦，一直抱着的哦，然后 baby 又很黏，是没有办法的了，所以我们都让他适当的休息咯，所以那个炎症我们尽量把它压低一点点，少抱一点。所以讲这个任务哦，交一半给 father 会比较好。
辛苦了所有的妈妈们。OK， 好 ，So this is upper limb 咯，So 这是 shoulder elbow 还有手。So 下一个呢，我们是要看 lower limb。那来了，我们的膝盖 ，All right， 膝盖退化现在越来越 common。You don't even need to get to 50 or even 60 years old. Nowadays, even 40多岁都其实已经开始了。所以你们要非常非常的 take care 啦。Alright, one thing 是你的 weight, okay? Next thing 其实是我们的 foot arch, okay? Actually 很多现在都有 complain about plantar fasciitis, where they get up in the morning and they actually feel stiffness at the foot, maybe for the first 5 or 10 minutes. Why is this? Can be several things. One is actually a flat foot, or 我们叫做的扁平足, alright, flat foot, or another thing would be 骨刺啦, alright, bone spur at the heel. So there's always actually inflammation occurring at the arch itself. Plantar fasciitis is 足底筋膜炎, yes. And lastly is jumper's knee. So actually jumper's knee in athletes not just like grown-ups, actually in kids you actually see a lot of these 小孩子们 if they tend to be very active, a lot, especially in basketball, or I see a lot in runners. So the ones that they like to sprint, like to jump, a lot of the times they may actually get this problem lah, jumper's knee. So yeah, these are the conditions where shockwave can really, really help.
讲到这个足底筋膜炎了 ，right？ 什么人最容易发生这个呢？就是没有穿鞋子的人，或者长期站的人，或者长期跑的人。So 其实这个 shockwave machine 呢，第一个就是我用。So 我的 power 去到 3.5 啊，是非常非常非常的痛。So 我会抱着那个枕头啊，痛到不行。但是我打3次我就没有这个问题了 ，because 我在诊所跑来跑去，走太多，所以导致足跟发炎了。
辛苦你 doctor，辛苦。Okay, so that's it for shockwave lah. I'm going to pass this on to Kelvin for the next and last equipment.
Right. Thank you for the shockwave. But I think just add a little bit up on the shockwave, right? So, a lot of the syndromes or the issues that were or the conditions that you listed, right, um, are named after like sports. But actually, in clinic, right, we know that most of the time it's not actually because of sports.
Yes,
So
yes.
don't be fooled by the nature of the name of the injury. Sometimes you might be feeling pain in your elbow and you say, no lah, this is not tennis elbow. I also don't play tennis. But actually, most of the time, it's not even from tennis. It's from like, twisting motion. So most of the time, mothers or housewives twisting the mop, right, is one big aggravator for those type of situations. So don't be fooled, and
Mhm.
definitely if you do feel pain, you can come and get checked out. And yeah, and also for shockwave, right, is actually very very good for inflammatory issues. Like a lot of sportsmen patients, right, they are always constantly doing sports, but what I noticed, right, after doing the shockwave, even though they do sports, right, it doesn't trigger as quickly. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah. So for example, like muscle stripping or massages, sometimes those will cause you to have a bit of a downtime because it actually kind of triggers a little bit of inflammatory response, right? But
Mhm.
somehow the shockwave is the opposite one, right? So no matter what kind of injury you guys are dealing with, right, we definitely have a way because we have all these equipments installed just to serve you guys better, lah. Yeah. So yeah, we actually invest a lot for all sort of situations, lah. So don't be worried, lah.
Got you covered.
Yeah.
Very well
So
said.
yeah, so let's move on to I think the last equipment that we're going to talk about today, which is the spine activator or the impulse gun, or sometimes you call it even the spine gun, though we don't necessarily exclusively use it for the spine, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, in the pictures here, both of these equipments, we do use it. So the left one is the electrical one, and the right one is actually the mechanical one, and we have both of these in place also for different sort of situations, lah. Right, Nick? I'm sure you are very familiar with these two machines, right? Yeah,
All the time, all the time.
yeah. So let's take a look at the next slide. So um, I've seen a lot of people where I think Nick, you also see a lot of people where they are super scared of spinal manipulation, right?
Mhm.
They're like some even elder patients. They're like, "Wow, I'm so old already. You sure still can do adjustment or not?" So actually, yes, we can still do adjustment depending on the case, right? And but um, if you are even afraid or you're not comfortable with having your spine manipulated, we have other machines installed just for that. Namely like the mechanical impulse gun, right?
Mhm.
The activator, where we can actually generate a much softer and reproducible impulse, or repeatable impulse that is always going to generate that amount of force, is more stable compared to like a human hand. Sometimes you do a little bit hard or a little bit softer, cannot control as much as the machine, right? But the machine is calibrated in a way where it is kept, meaning that you pretty much cannot get injured from this kind of machine, right? Especially those more acute patients where a little bit of movement in the spine, you already feel like, wow, maybe a little bit of pain after the manipulation. We always have an alternative to those harder manipulation, which is this spine activator, lor. So basically, it uses impulse, uh, kind of like the shockwave, but this is more direct. So the impulse from the shockwave is more acoustic. This is actually like a physical impulse. So it's directly kind of banging into your muscles and also your spine lah. So yeah, with right usage, this will help with all sorts of the syndromes like degenerative issues like we mentioned before that, and even acute issues. This spine activator can also help because we can directly adjust the force that comes out from the machine lah. So maybe a stiffer patient we would use higher force, or more acute patient like a disc bulge patient, we'll control accordingly lah. We'll use a lower force to do the necessary movement that we want to do, right? So definitely very very safe and very suitable for those patients that are more afraid lah of those physical manipulation, right? Yeah, so have a look at the
OK，
next.
回去先，让我
好
先大约解释一下这个我们讲的 spine gun 或者这个 spine activator，其实它的功效是什么？Actually，我们做推拿也好，做我们的这个调整也好，其实也是讲一个 frequency。所以我们一个推一个拿，一个推一个拿，其实就是那个 frequency 啊，让到我们会 send signal 去我们的大脑然后再 send 回 signal 给我们的 body 我们的肌肉，让它松那个 muscles 或者我们的肌腱或者我们的骨骼会比较松一点。So 很多人我们做调整的时候他会比较怕，尤其是老人家。So 这些 machines 其实我们有分手动的还有电动的，其实一开始是手动的，但是为什么还会变成电动？因为我们每次这样打会打到手都会发炎，因为那个是蛮重的啊，所以他们就出这个电动的。So 这个电动的会不会很安全呢？其实它很安全啊。其实那个 frequency 他们怎样拿到这个 frequency 出来的呢？其实他们是他们做这个 machine 的时候，他们要进行人体解剖。人体解剖不是已经是去世了的人，其实是生人真人在那边，他们在那个手术室上面，他们打开了看到的 spine，so 他们在他的 spine 那边放很多那些电极片，去 measure 什么 force 可以把那个骨头弄到最大幅度的震动，还有什么幅度是最 safe， 什么幅度会伤到我们的那个 spine， 所以他们把这些 data 都收起来，所以他会design 了这个 activator 的出来，所以这个东西是很 safe 的除了一些地方，我好像颈椎的地方，我们有很多力度啦，不可以用到最大力的去打颈椎，其他部分的话其实都是蛮安全的。
So yeah, well said by Doctor lah. So a lot of millions of dollars of research put on this machine, so you can be rest assured that it is very safe lah. So yeah, so when I was learning about the spine activator previously, I also was given the knowledge where they say, they have to open up the spine to put electrodes in the spine to actually measure the data. So I was also quite shocked by that. I thought this is some cheap China gun at first, but after I learned more about it, go for classes, then only I found out that actually this is such an advanced gun, even though it looks like just a gun. But a lot of millions of dollars put into researching the correct force and the most optimal force, not even just the correct force, the most optimal force to actually mobilize the spine, right? So yeah, benefit of the spine activator is very high speed. So normal human hands can't produce such a high speed, right, of impulses, and such a controlled impulse at the same speed. So when it is high speed, right, sometimes so when even when we're using our hands or using the other machines that are not so high speed, right, the body tend to tense up in anticipation of that force, right? I think especially in spinal manipulation, I think Nick, you know a lot about that. Patients sometimes will tense up when we get into position to manipulate the spine, lah. But for those patients, we can use the spine activator because the speed is so high that you don't see it coming and it's just gone just like that. So it is very, very safe and it won't cause any soft tissue damage, lah, especially when you tense up and we do the manipulation at the same time. Then sometimes it will, cause a bit of a pain response, lah. But with this, it is pretty much non-existent, lah, those type of inflammation. So yeah, and it is also a very controlled force. Like I said just now, the applied force is calibrated to be optimal for movement of the spine and actually for safe movement of the spine at that. Right. So yeah, and so most of the time when we are using the spine activator, we are not bending or twisting the joints. Like in manipulation, to get the right angle, we sometimes have to move the head or or the lower back, the pelvic, to a certain position to be able to drive to open up the joints. But for spine activator, you don't need to do that. Yeah, so it is a very controlled force and a very controlled environment. Yeah. So
Amazing. Well said, well said.
OK，听到吗？听到我讲话吗？
听了。
So 让我解释一下，其实这个 activator gun 其实做到一些我们人手做不到的东西了。So 牛顿第二、第三定律其实已经讲了，重力加速度。So 那个重力加速度是什么呢？就是如果我们的力不是很大，但是很快的话，其实那个力出来的表现是一样的。就是你很大力去按一下，跟我很小力去打很多下，其实得出来的结果都是一样的。So 那个 frequency actually pass to 我们的 brain 呢，其实是差不多 similar 的。但是如果我们用人手去按，跟用这个 spine gun 去按的话，其实我们这个 spine gun 传导去我们头脑的 force 很快就会达到那个力度， so save 了很多很多的时间，又安全。其实我们的 spine 动那个频率动到最大的时候，就是最 maximum 可以传导到那个 signal 到我们头脑的那个力度，所以不能超过那个力度啦，所以会 save 很多的时间咯。所以好像我打 maybe 我打这边2 minutes， 其实你整个肩膀都松完了的。compare 你去推2个小时，其实是 save 你的时间。还有这把 spine gun 其实最好用的地方是，不是现在 because the signal when pass to your brain right， 它是24 hours 其实都帮你在做那个调节。还有你的 spine 其实它可以帮你做一些微调，你就算不要做 adjustment， 其实你的 spine gun 去打正确的 force， 其实它会慢慢的移动移去你要回复的地方。
Thank you, Doctor. So nice. That is pretty much the things about spine gun. So I think we have come to the end of our presentation. If you guys have any questions, 有什么问题的想要了解我们一些treatment 啊，或者 even machines 啊多一点的，都可以留下一些 comments. So let's see. Currently, we actually have a little bit of comments here. Sean, yes. Shannon treats my plantar fasciitis conditions with shockwave. So I think you're responding very well, huh? I think I might have.
你们对于 sorry 其实你们对于这 equipment 呢，或者说你们觉得你现在有这个病，你觉得用哪一个 machines 比较适合你？其实你都可以问了。其实刚才 Nicholas for 那个 flexion table 里面的时候讲少一个东西，就是其实我们人都需要保养的。So 这个 machine 其实是最大的，我们叫做一个 flexion， 一个摇摆的动作，就是把你的脊椎最大程度的 flex 开，摇松它。摇松它的时候，它是最好保护我们的脊椎，去做一个保养啊，就是很多 oxygen pump 进去。所以如果你没有这个 machines， 可不可以？其实可以的，你要很勤力的去游泳咯。But 如果你趴在那个 machine 上面，就好像你在 啊，这样游了10分钟，很 consistent 的游。其实很 consistent 的游啊，跟你游下停下游下停下是有那个 different 的嘛。所以可能你游了半个小时，游下停下都没有你直接在那个床那边 flex 10分钟的好，because 是 continuously 的。
Yeah, and I think that sort of movement, right, created by the machine, we rarely move our lower back like that in our daily lives. So when we rarely use that angle of motion, right, it starts to get very stiff. So sometimes we need, like Dr. Sky said, we need to have maintenance, right? Maintain the lower back, let it move, then you will be less stiff lah. Yeah, not only for acute injuries, but even for maintenance.
好，那
Yeah.
我这个 question 是我一个朋友，这个 Ken Ng 啊，他是很高很高的一个人，又本事又年轻，年轻有为，他还进入今年的那个TOM Top 的 D 啦。其实30强的 Malaysia 的杰出青年，真的是非常杰出一个青年，但是他的问题是为什么他会那个 neck pain shoulder pain 呢？我觉得是他太高，他看人的时候往下看太多。我妈妈把我长得这样子，其实我也想高到10cm 的啦。OK，so 你这个可以做一些连的去保养一下了啊。那个 neck pain 得空的话，我帮你 check 一下。非常杰出的一个青年，他还进入那个 CYEA Top 的地，说他同一年哇进入两个这样大的奖项是非常非常厉害。他是做什么呢？他是教人家华文的，很厉害，说他是冠军啊，冠军很出名的一个散者，
所以有时候长得太高也是，
没有，是
burden 啊。
我们长得太矮了，我们挑高一点吧。So Nicholas, second questions.
OK，来，我想请问 Planta Fasciitis 穿什么鞋子重要啊？像拖鞋或者 sport shoe 之间有什么差别呢？OK，so Planta Fasciitis 也是刚才我们有说到的啦。So sometimes when there's inflammation at the planta，alright，它是因为 because it's too flat 嘛，对吗？So if you actually talk about shoes wise, it's important to have something lah. It's more of a insole you can say, or maybe in terms of wearing shoes. 不要穿拖鞋这样多了 because 拖鞋 is very flat, alright? 好像踩地上这样子 with your bare feet, no difference one. So especially when you walk, when you tend to run, it's very important that you get a good pair of sport shoes, or even better, you actually have a custom made insole according to your feet. Because everyone's feet is different. Maybe if you place your foot in a general shoe, maybe it's not as great lah. So if you can, a custom one will definitely make a difference. Okay, Kevin, you want to get this?
Hi, Emilia. So, thank you for asking questions and engaging in the live. So, if someone have bad posture but cannot correct their posture, what can we do? Depends on why you cannot correct your posture, I guess. So, definitely for the long term, right? Eventually, we will have to train ourselves to have better posture. You can't just expect to sit like a shrimp but have good spinal health, right? It is a two-way thing between the therapist and also the patient. We can try our best, using our machines to keep it as stable for as long as possible. But definitely, right, if you have trouble with your posture, you might have to maybe first reduce your pain. You might have bad posture because of pain, right? So we might reduce the pain using the machines, that we provide. Or secondly, maybe you like the education on good posture, right? So we do advise our patients on the correct posture, work desk, ergonomics, how to take care of yourself when we are not there for you, right? So yeah, maybe you can start with those first. Then if there are maybe other issues, we can try to go about it, lor. But yeah, definitely have to try to correct yourself lah, and see what is the reason you cannot correct your posture. Is it because of pain, or is it habitual, or yeah, other issues?
If habit 的话，你要 stand by sugar cane 哦，然后 always remind each other，或者你找一个 wall when you sit, you have something to support your back. It's very important 啦。At least 你不能做100%，maybe 你50%都好过没有了，better。
Yeah, yeah. Always be conscious on your posture. Yeah. But then when you're conscious for a while, then you start making better habits of sitting up straight. Then after that, it will be smooth sailing for you guys lah.
OK，好，Janice， scoliosis 青春期后还能被治疗吗？OK. Well, very subjective also actually. Well, also first of all, depending on how severe the scoliosis curve is, but if I have to be honest, when we talk about like adults, when it comes to scoliosis, typically in terms of changing the curve, that's not so much of the priority anymore. It's actually towards more management and whether or not you are experiencing pain that is affecting your quality of life. That is what we're actually looking more into. But to be honest, in terms of the correction, when you're an adult, typically, we'll say as far as it goes, is about 5 degrees. That's the max out, the best. But most of the time, we would actually want to look into how can we improve your quality of life? How can we get you to go back to doing the things that you enjoy without pain?
其实这个 scoliosis 我要讲一下，就是要 depends 你几岁了。好像青春期后 actually 如果你超过20岁啊，大约你的肌肉已经还有你的骨架已经很发达了，已经是maximize 你的 growth 了。然后其实你的就不会再长高，不会再生长。其实如果你讲要治疗的话，我们会以痛症或者你的肌肉哪一点紧绷，或者你坐下，哇，你颈很酸啊，腰很酸，不能 support 你日常的生活。其实我们会做那个 pain management 的。所以刚才我看到 Shana 那边，他讲的很有道理，就是有一些运动治疗，就是物理治疗，可以帮你改善这一方面的问题。
Yeah, this is very true, especially for physiotherapists. We're actually working hand in hand now. So like we have treatment base and also physiotherapy on the side when it comes to scoliosis kind of patients. So if we work hand in hand, typically the results are actually much better also because when you're not doing treatment, you can actually do the exercise that we're taught. Do them at home. So you have to maintain, then maybe the next round you come about, the results are better.
OK，Grace，在目前我们有多少个人已经 share 了跟 like 了我们的 post？你可以让我知道吗？因为很多人其实在中间的时候进来，他都没有听到这个东西。
Yeah, I think I can hear you now, Grace.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I think at the moment, because I guess everyone did not open up their profile, but we have quite a lot of shares. But because we can't see when your profile is private, so we can't put your names into the wheel to spin out. So 如果你们有 share 的话呢，你们可以打开你们的这个，把你们的 profile set 去 private，把你们的 profile set 去 open。那么呢，我们就可以看到你们的名字出现，然后我们就可以把名字呢放进这个 spinning wheel 里面。
OK，这样我们会等你们2-3分钟。如果你们没有开了那个 private，你们 screenshot 给我们放在我们 comment 那边也行。所以我们就会把你的名字放去我们的 wheel spin 那边转，看我们的 lucky draw，谁会拿到我们 lucky draw，然后 maybe 很丰富的奖品或者 free treatments 的。
Yeah, you guys can leave a comment. Hey, Mr. Lim, I see you there. Okay, come, let's gather more participants so you guys can get a higher chance to win this giveaway.
那朋友们记得要把你们的这个 profile 的设置为公开，过后呢，你们 share 的呢，我们都可以看到你们的名字，不然的话呢，我们是无法看到你们有把我们 share 到哦。
我看到一个人跟 Dr. Nick 打招呼。
Hello, 你好 Mr. Lim.
OK， 还有什么问题吗？大家还有什么问题吗？都可以提上来，我会尽快回答你们的问题。
Oh, we have a question.
OK， 我觉得这一期我们给个 free treatment 好，free treatment 好，好像如果大家觉得你们的病情需要 spy gun 啊，或者需要 tractions 啊，或者需要 flexions，或者你有 scoliosis 啊，其实你们都应该去 share 一下，把这个 information 告诉大家，然后 get a chance to win a free treatment 啊。我觉得这样会更有意义。本来我们有很多那些 product 要给你们的，但是我觉得这一集的意义在于，尝试一些新的科技带入我们这个传统行业，这个是很好的意义啊。
我们也想要我们的 patient 呢来到我们这边呢，去体验更多我们这个中心里面的提供的这个机器。
Yeah, because some of the equipments or machines are actually not a lot in Malaysia, to be honest. It's actually from US, Switzerland. So to actually have shockwave or Leander in the same clinic, it's quite hard to get actually.
那个连的其实是美国进来的，所以那个 shockwave 就是 Switzerland 咯。我们都差不多的咯，有多少个 share 了？share 了，我们要进入我们的 lucky draw sections。你们好了吗？好了，你可以打 yes 或者 wait， 你们让我知道。
Last chance, let's go.
但是我想问一问哦 ，Nicholas， 你最喜欢用的是什么仪器在我们的 clinic？
最喜欢用，其实我们的连的还有 shockwave 都很 hot 啊。我还是比较喜欢用连的啦。because 对于我来讲 in terms of 调整啦sometimes with or without 连的其实 it's actually a bit of difference in terms of the muscles, whether how comfortable are they. It's a bit different.
I think not only for you, Nick.
Sorry?
I think not only you like Leander, I think all our therapists yeah, is always in demand and not enough supply. Maybe need a third one.
Are we get 我们 getting
如果你问
one
我
more?
我觉得每个我都很常用一下的，其实。我不会用11个 machines 啊 ，even 都今天你没有给我 machines， 我都能做好的。其实我每次跟他们讲，不能太过依赖 machines， 但如果有可以更好的解除，我们去用，但是不能依赖啊，这个是非常重要的。因为最重要还是我们的手啊，我们去 touch， 我们的 feeling。其实任何机器都好，如果你没有很好的手法，没有很好的认知啊，其实也是看谁用的，你知道吗？好像 spy gun， 好像一把这样的枪，哇，乱打会好吗？不会的。其实最重要就是你的姿势要打哪里，要怎样去准确的去施展，这个才是重点。
Yeah. I think at the start we also said the most important machine is us. The
Yeah, correct.
therapist.
It's
Yeah.
exactly. Because without the knowledge or the experience or the skills, right, you cannot actually carry out, or it would be even a different result.
那我们开始吧。
OK，那么呢，我们可以后勤人员可以把那个 wheels 来放上来。我们来看看今天有多少个 participants 啊？OK，如果没有看错的话呢，我们今天一共有8位，对吗？1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8，应该有8位 participants 来参加我们这个 giveaway 啦。好，那你们都准备好的话呢，我们就请后勤人员转动这个轮盘。被抽到的几率还蛮大哦。OK， 我们恭喜 Amelia。
发达州，发达
Congrats.
州，finally 发达州。
Let's
Is it the
go,
first time?
Amelia. Yeah, first time.
Amelia's first time.
Yeah. But I think Emilia joined a lot of times already. That's why finally she won.
Woohoo!
OK， 讲
Congratulations.
你要讲你在不在啊？在不在我就抽另外的人的啦。
Amelia, may I know, are you at live right now? You can say a hi in the comment below.
OK，so 等一下要 preview 一下，我们下一集也是非常非常的精彩。So，要 preview 一下。
OK， 我想问一下 Amelia 在吗？
Amelia, say something.
出来打个招呼。
Cat Steven is ready 了，他讲来再转过。
快点，来，我们要倒数一下，倒数一下。
我们倒数个10秒，
Oh no！ 来了，
好吗？还是有人呼唤一下 Amelia 出来吗？
I try to get Emilia here.
Under 10 seconds, huh?
Should we start the countdown?
Today is such a great episode, very knowledgeable also.
Yeah, we kind of like educated our patients about how a center works and also the equipments that we use, because I guess many patients will ask after the treatment, actually what machine that we use today, what is that actually about? Sometimes they will come and ask front desk,
Yeah. You know what's the weirdest name I've heard for Leander?
没有，我们就要再抽过了，快点，
错过了。
很久了。
哦，
来，我们
Kelvin
倒数10秒，倒数10秒，来，倒数10秒。
OK，
10、9、8、7、6，最后5哦，4、3。Kevin, did you manage to get Amelia?
No leh.
No.
2、1。Amelia 在吗
OK， 快点，再抽。
？OK， 那很遗憾要重新抽过了。
Alright， 来。
One more chance for the others.
Let's start. Yes, congratulations to our next new winner.
Pudding。
有没有在？快点哦。
Hi, you can say a hi at comments below.
OK，so 等他 say hi 的时候，我们先 preview 一下我们的下一集的 episode。
对，来，我们来看一看我们下一集。那下一集呢，就比较精彩啦。我觉得很多人都有 encounter 这个 post-COVID symptom，就是呢， 可能中了 COVID 过后呢，就会觉得很弱，然后可能会喘不过气啊，上气不接下气啊，还是持续的这个咳嗽啊。那下一期呢，我们 Dr. Sky 会带来这个很 interesting 的这个 topic。
所以大家如果有一些朋友中了 COVID 的很辛苦的，或者还没有 recover 的，让我带你了解一下，究竟我是吃了什么 recover。
OK， 我看到我们的得奖者在这边。
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations！
好了，
Great.
大家晚安，谢谢大家，感恩大家今天的
好，
参与。
那我们的 live 呢就到这一边哦，谢谢大家，我们下个
So-
星期同一个时间9点见，拜拜。
所以要 say 到最后，你们 Lucky Draw 那边他没有拿到也是不好意思啊，但是我们一定要 fair to 那些留到最后的人 ，OK？
对
感恩，拜拜。
Thank you.
，Thank you，拜拜。
Good night. Bye bye.